Hello and welcome to another episode of Origin Spotlight. You missed us last week, but fear not, we are back, and I am your host, B. Zelda, they, them pronouns, and I am joined by, I think almost at this point, you might be our most regular guest coming in at 3 times, Cynthia.
Well, hello. Good to see you again.
How are you today?
Not too bad. Just getting ready for things to go,
Yeah, still lots of prep, lots of emails to answer. It never ends.
It never does. But that's good, right?
I think so. It's nice to be busy. Once I'm not busy, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, where do they go if not on a keyboard?
People want information on events, so that's a good thing.
Yes. So today we're talking about volunteers, and I think this is going to cover a lot. Folks probably have a lot of questions about, like, I want to volunteer. What does that look like? What do I have to do? How do I register? Where do I register? Where do we begin?
Well, Origins loves its volunteers. We really would have a really hard time putting on the convention without our volunteers. So first off, every volunteer that's ever volunteered for Origins, I thank you. Anybody who will volunteer in the future, I thank you, because you're the lifeblood of Origins, and hats off to you. So let me just start with that, because I appreciate my volunteers. Now, if you want to volunteer, or you've volunteered before and you don't know how to volunteer in the new system, it all starts with, hold on one second, I think I'm on the wrong, with the volunteer page on the website.
A good start.
You on the website, there is a tab that says, do you want to get involved? Volunteer. And if you click the little button to volunteer, if you don't have a tabletop account, you will be taken here.
Okay,
which not everybody started with there, because we are doing, as we talked with badges and registration, Tabletop Events is handling our system this year, and this is the start of Tabletop Events. So if you don't have an account, because we're going to start there for the new people who've never done anything with tabletop, you'll be sent to the tabletop page, and then you will select the Origins. You'll have to create your account, and you'll select the Origins Game Fair tab, which, that's what we're doing, 2022, right? New year.
Coming up.
And then once you get to Origins, you will go right here, highlighted with a big green arrow, and the little drop-down button will have available shifts, my shifts, and how to volunteer. Tabletop Events has a really nice preloaded selection on how to volunteer. So they have another system that's independent from this, where it just lays out how to volunteer, and it gives you samples. So that's available right there from the website as well. But for us, if you just kind of click on the how to volunteer, you'll come over to our shifts. These are all the shifts that are available to volunteering. You can sort it by the days. Like, I want to volunteer on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now, I will say Tuesday, we only have like 2 different things available. But so what days are you coming in? What days do you think you're going to be like that you would like to offer some volunteer time? You can sort it that way. It shows rooms here. But I don't have them assigned to rooms, because some of these places don't have rooms. So you can't really sort by rooms. So
like security, they're just wandering around.
Well, so like the rooms, the HQ event is more in the middle of the hall. The registration is at the registration area. It doesn't necessarily have a room that it's in. So it's not overly sortable by room area. But you're more likely to want to know what type of shifts are available. So right here, you have like the different descriptions of what the types of shifts are. And we will go into what those all mean.
Please, I already have some questions. All right.
So let's go through the process, and then we can go back to what the different types are. Okay. So this is going to give you the outline, but if you scroll all the way to the bottom of this page, there's this apply to volunteer button right there. And if you click that, you'll have to fill out information about yourself and then start your application. And so part of the start your app, let me back up here a second. Have you read the volunteer information? Why did that pop up again. But have you read the volunteer information? You need to acknowledge that you've read it.
Okay.
And now you're going to ask me, where's that information, right? Back where you started on the volunteer page, if you scroll down, there's a lot of information about volunteering. Okay. So just that, be aware of the different things. So then you finish it. And when you click the submit your application, you're going to be asked to go over your information you've submitted. And there's also an extra button here asking if you want to submit any pronouns.
Love that.
And if you have any mobility issues. The main thing we're concerned about is, we have a couple people with wheelchairs. I have a position for you. You're great in my registration. I can either put you on vaccine check or registration. I got a spot for you.
That is so
nice. But I need to know
people who
that
can't stand.
Yeah, some of the time. One of our top security people who watches over doors and checks badges is in a wheelchair. So we do have positions for you if you're mobility impaired, but I'm not going to put you into one of the positions that require you to go to Event HQ is on a platform in the middle of the hall. You're going to have a hard time getting up the platform. That won't be the position for you. So I just want to know more, just to make sure that you're signing up for something that actually will work for you.
Oh, that is so kind.
The one you need to move tables and things like that. And so if you can't do that, I don't want you in that position because it won't be successful for you or the position. And I want everybody to be successful in their position. But anyway, so once you fill out these, you will choose your shifts and you'll come to that page again. Now, unfortunately, you don't get to sort by type on this page. Okay. You can sort by day. They are working on putting the type button back. It wasn't there and we've requested it, and they're working on doing the coding for that. So hopefully that will come in the future.
Okay, sounds good.
So you find the shift that you want and you'll click the little volunteer button and it will go unvolunteer. Until you are scheduled, you have the opportunity to unvolunteer through the website.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay. So you just continue, find your button, click all the shifts you want to volunteer for, and we'll talk about the levels and why you want to volunteer for different amounts in a little bit. But then submit my application and you'll get a synopsis of what you volunteered for. So that looks right. Yep. You can edit it. If you want to edit it, you'll go back to the previous page and choose the shifts again, and it will go back through. And that's how you would edit it. You just have to go back and unselect them until you are scheduled for that shift. You can go back and edit what you've done. Okay. So you can always see what you've signed up for. Here's where the perks are. So
this is the stuff that we want to see.
Yeah, we're going to sit here for just a second. But so you sign up for as many shifts as you want to. When you're done with signing up for the shifts, eventually, probably in the next 2 weeks, I'll start going in and assigning people and approving shifts. When your shifts are approved, you will get images of everything. Okay? Are you okay?
Yep.
Okay. Just checking to make sure. Just checking to make sure. But so you'll get emails that your shifts have been approved. And once that's done, you're all set. And then I'll work on sending badges out to the people that have volunteered.
Okay.
So, and that is part of the perks. We have upped our perk level this year. If you give us 4 hours, we will not only give you the badge for the day that you give us 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
But we will give you a badge for another day. Same with the 8 hours. You will get 2 days. But along with the 8 hours, you will get a 1 day parking pass. So
that's
one of those
fantastic.
2 days, you get to park for free.
Nice.
So I was just talking to a volunteer about a week ago. He and his partner were both volunteering, and they were going to volunteer for 8 hours each. And one was going to use their parking pass one day, and one was going to use their parking pass the next day, and they were going to carpool. So they got 2 days, and they got free parking for both days. So
that's
carpool, and you get more stuff,
Mm-hmm.
But so the badges depend on how many days you work. and it's right across there on the top line. You'll get t-shirts based on the amount of time you work. We prefer
I like that one.
Have fresh volunteers. I know I like a fresh shirt. Most people do. So you get t-shirts kind of based on that. Everybody gets access to free water. We're going to provide water for everybody. It will be in there. Depending on how much you volunteer, we're going to reimburse you a little bit for your snacks and food that you need to spend. It will happen after the convention. When you're done with your volunteer shifts, you can go back to the help desk and you will get a gift card or a check, however they end up doing it. I don't know which way they're going to end up doing it at this moment in time, for the amount of your food stipend. But so you're not going to get it beforehand. It's more of a reimbursement than for you to use at the convention.
Okay. And that's worth knowing.
Yeah, it's very much. Yeah, you don't count on it at the convention. You'll be able to use it after the convention. Okay. Because you don't get it until after your shifts are done. What I would like to point out is that food stipend has increased for the 32-hour level.
Yeah. So
you get a pretty hefty amount there for the 32-hour level. We wanted to. It used to only be that the leads got $100. Okay. We really wanted to give more to the people who weren't leads, but gave us 32 hours of time. Aww. That's a lot of time to give us. We would like to give you a little something. So that travel only comes in when you're a lead, and I've contacted most of my leads. I still have as of today, the 1st of March, I have 1 or 2 that I need to put into place, but most of the leads are already in place. Okay. So that for 2022, most of those are taken. The volunteer lounge, all the volunteers get access to the lounge. Lovely. The lounge is just someplace the volunteers can go. They can get away from the noise and the confusion. Sometimes when you've been out there, you just need a quiet place.
Oh yeah, it gets overstimulating. You don't even realize it sometimes.
And I won't say that the volunteer lounge is not a quiet room, because all the other volunteers are there. They there might be talking. Other volunteers might bring in a game and play a game there, but it's going to be a few less people. It's a great place to talk to your other volunteers. It's a great place to sit down and have your lunch. So if you just need a minute to get away from the crowd, only volunteers will have access to the volunteer lounge.
Perfect.
So it's a great little place to go. We also, for 16 hours and above, have an appreciation party on Sunday.
Oh my goodness,
and it's after the show closes. And the party's taken a few different how it looks. So it changed. It changed with because we used to do snacks and things like that. But with COVID and all, that became less, so we're not doing that.
It's harder to do
what
food,
it does include is usually a big pile of games put out that all the volunteers can pick from. Thanks to our sponsors, we have some donations that and let's see hold on, let me flip back through here. And I'll give you an example of the party.
Yes.
This whole process. So here is the volunteer party from last year. You can see they're just piles of games. This is one of our volunteers with her loot. And that was a light stack.
A light stack? Holy heck.
That was a light stack. But so there were boxes and lots of stuff coming out from our volunteers. And it was just, it was a good time. Everybody had, I think one of the volunteers is planning on bringing a wagon for 2023 or 2022. She got so much stuff that she wished she had, but you also have your bag that you're carrying and your jacket, it's the end of the convention. You've got all your stuff. So she was like, oh man, I wish I had wheels behind this. So
I love that.
It's a good time where people get lots of stuff. And then from there, the more hours that you work, the more options you have.
Okay.
As I talked about, we're going to come down here to the options. As I talked about, 8 hours and above, you start earning parking passes.
Yes.
Okay. But at 24 hours, you start earning things like you can choose, do you want a quarter of a hotel room for the convention? Do you want a 5-day parking pass because you live in town and you're going to drive back and forth? Do you want a 5-day parking pass? Or are you going to take the bus and your spouse wants to come, so you want another badge?
Yeah.
You can choose one of those options at 24 to 31 hours. So that's a pretty good option.
And you really touched on like the different kinds of people that would attend a con too and what their needs would be.
Absolutely. They used to be a little bit more selective, but we've learned that, like people from Columbus like to volunteer. They don't care about the hotel room. They're going to drive. So I'm going to give you the choice. Do you want the hotel room or do you want the parking? Because, everybody has different needs. Some people, we'll pay for the parking, but I want to get my spouse in, So we have one spouse that doesn't really care about gaming that much.
Yep.
But she loves to volunteer and talk to the people.
That is so sweet.
So she earns her husband's badge.
Oh my goodness.
And she is delightful. And I absolutely enjoy chatting with her. So she is a quality volunteer. And this is what she enjoys. She gets to spend time with her husband. They go out to dinner. They go out, to lunch. She spends her time volunteering and he spends his time gaming. It's a happy,
it's like
they work it out,
Yeah.
So, but you give me 32 options, 32 hours, and I'm going to give you 2 of those options. So maybe you want a quarter of a hotel room and a 5-day parking pass because you're driving in. So you're going to need to put your car someplace.
Yep.
But you also need to sleep. So now that is a quarter of a hotel room.
Yep.
So you will be with 3 other volunteers. We do try and group volunteers together by gender so that, you're not going to, be waking up, try and get everybody's modesty going,
Try to be understanding about this.
Absolutely. But if you're a lead, you get to choose 2 of them, and one of them is a half a hotel room. Our leads only have to share with one other person.
Okay.
So, I think we give some pretty awesome perks. I've worked for different companies before, and our perks weren't this is good for working conventions. So I'm pretty happy about our perks.
This is marvelous. There's so much to offer volunteers. I can't imagine y'all ever having an issue getting volunteers because you just show them this perk package and it's like, yes, 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 yes. Ooh, yes.
Yeah, but we need a lot. So there's something for everybody. And even just the 4 hours, like I love that for 4 hours, you can get 2 days. So
that's really good.
I'm taking 4 hours of your one day, but the next day, it's
all yours.
It's all yours. So, it's a great way to do it. Or 8 hours and you're 2-packing, and we need a ton of volunteers. Example, your basic registration shift is 16 to 20 volunteers.
Oh, wow. That's a handful of people. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. We're talking about a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we run 24 hours a day. If you want to volunteer for me at 3 a.m., I've got a spot for you. Because our security, we keep people watching the doors and things like that. So we have a skeleton shift of security on top of the convention security that runs 24/7.
Oh, I think that's brilliant. Those night owls. That's the shift night for you.
That just, you're
up at that time. You're listening to your podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not strenuous. It just, part of it's watching a door, part of it's just kind of circling and keeping an eye on it, and they trade back and forth. So 24 hours a day, I got a spot for you. So, let me know.
Yes.
And so that brings us to the types of different places that we can volunteer. So security is one of them. We've mentioned security. Security checks badges at the door. So we have people there to make sure that you have a badge. And this year you have to have a wristband. The wristband is that you have shown proof of vaccination.
Yes. Got to get your double shots, double jabs.
So for 2022, you have to have both a badge and a wristband. Now, badges will not be reprinted. I just want to put that out. in all podcasts. So people don't think that they can like just do away with their badge.
But not lose them.
Don't lose it, or you're going to be paying for another one, and nobody wants to do that. The only way I'll reprint a badge is if you come to me with it like ripped up and say, "It broke. Can you fix it?" And you can turn
my dog ate it.
If you can turn in your old one, I will replace it for a new one.
I like that. That's a good deal then.
Yeah, sometimes things happen.
Yeah.
You dipped it in gravy the night before dinner.
And then you put it out to dry and it got moldy.
Yeah, I'll trade you. I'll trade you badges. I'll trade you a fresh one. But the wristbands, sometimes people just can't sleep with a wristband. They have to get it off.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. Some people just, the badge you can take off your head and you don't, but the wristband, we put it on. And if you have to get it off at night, you just have to go back to the vac check line the next day and I will give you another band.
Oh, fabulous.
Or my team will give you another. You just have to show your stuff again. Mm-hmm. It does mean waiting in line. Nobody likes to wait in line. So if you can stand to not replace your wristband, keep it on. But if you can't stand it, it's okay. Just stand in line and we'll give you another one. But so security's checking to make sure you have both. Part of registration is giving you that wristband and that badge.
Okay.
So the registration process is starting with you going through vaccine check, where they're going to check your card against your ID. Nobody's going to be making any notes. This is a question that I've been having. Is anybody going to be keeping track of this? No. We just want to know that it's your vaccine card and that the vaccine card meets the requirements.
Perfect.
And that's the basic requirements. We do not require boosters. And part of registration team will be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll go around the corner and they'll get their badge. So I'm going to need people to man the scan and go station in case somebody has any kind of a problem with their barcode or how to work the system there. And then I'm going to need people to help the people who want to walk up and get their registration, who haven't registered in advance, who want to sign up and make sure their seat is reserved for an event. Mm-hmm. They haven't done that in advance. So they want to register for that event now. We'll take care of you there at the show, but I need people to do it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm very proud of my 2021 team. And I hope I get as good of people in 2022. So all you people from 2021, come back to me.
You were great. Come back.
And people I didn't meet in 2021, come back.
Yeah.
A lot of our volunteers couldn't make it in with the different time change.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see you. I want to meet you. I want to meet the ones that I haven't met before. So I'm looking for everybody. Yeah. So we've talked about security and registration. Mm-hmm. We have some event halls. We have the event hall HQ.
Okay.
We have the Hyatt HQ and we have the meeting room HQ. Those three stations are in charge of their area of events. So in the event hall, all the events that are running in the hall, you're working with the GMs to make sure that things are set up there.
Okay.
You're taking the tickets from the GMs. Every event has tickets and you have to turn it in so we can tell what a fill rate you have. Mm-hmm. If an event is very successful, we want to try and get more of them next year. If it's not successful, maybe we want to try for something else. So we use tickets as a fill rate. The HQ solves problems for the GMs, solves tables issues, collects tickets, and that is in the main room of the gaming area. Then we have another one at the Hyatt. That's why it's the Hyatt HQ. And they deal mostly with LARPs and RPGs. Mm-hmm. They might have to move some tables, make sure everybody's in the right room. And then we have the meeting rooms, which is where the seminars, the authors, have their meeting areas for their lectures.
Yep.
So they're up there. So they're on the second floor in the main convention center. They're on the second floor, like up the escalators.
Okay.
They're in charge of everything that's not the hall. So the event hall is the hall. Then the meeting rooms is all the meetings room, both ground floor and second floor. And then HQ is the Hyatt. I mean, the Hyatt HQ is the Hyatt. Kind of says where it is, right?
Yep.
But they're in charge of helping anybody with their events in those areas. that can be a big job, and you might have to run around a little bit, or everything runs smoothly and you're just kind of sitting there directing people. The other thing, it's always good to have a general idea of what the con is, because people ask direct. So, it's a good, but we can help you with that.
Do you get volunteers that they just genuinely enjoy altruistically volunteering without knowing what the content is? People are amazing.
Absolutely. That's the one woman we talked about earlier. For her. Yeah. We get people who just like to volunteer. And that's so sweet. That like to, I like the convention, but I'm not big into jumping into things with people I don't know. It's a great way to get to know people.
Yes.
So you get to know your other volunteer crew. Volunteers have developed relationships that they with people who have just come up to ask help.
Oh, I believe that. Absolutely.
There's all sorts of things that you learn being a volunteer too. But anyway, some more positions. I'm talking about help. We have the help desk, which used to be called the show office for those volunteers who had, have had experience volunteering. We've done away with the show office, because what the show office really turned into is people going and asking for help. So we have moved it to one of the big roll-up windows in the main concourse over by registration, where you're just going to be helping people find the location of what they need. It's, I have this event. Where is it? You're going to help them find it. You're going to know how to read the tickets. Mm-hmm. You're going to have a basic understanding of the show and be able to help people find what they need. It will also be where the volunteers go to pick up their T-shirts and pick up some stuff. And at the end, that's where the GMs will turn in their tickets.
Okay.
So those are the couple things that the help desk will do besides for helping people. Let's see. Oh, we already talked about the Hyatt. I have a little list down here if you see me.
I love that.
We have the Origins Awards in the back of the hall. We have where the games that are up for Origins Awards are located. That we have a copy of each of the games, and attendees can go and check the game out, play it, check and see what it's like, and then they can vote for what their favorite in each category is.
Okay.
And we have an award for attendees' favorites. So we need that staffed. We need those games looked after, put back together when they return them, and check back out again. So we have that area. Excuse me. We have a volunteer manning the author area. We have a bunch of authors that come to Origins. We have the Origins anthology, which is sold. So we have a volunteer that will be staffing that area and selling on anthology right there where the authors are. So you can go around and get your book signed by the authors within. So we have somebody manning that. Mm-hmm. We have the Origins merch store where you can get all your cool Origins merch. That's run by volunteers and the GRD. So we need people to help with that. There you need to be good with money.
People skills, ability to have directions, ability to count. All of these are useful in different areas.
None of this is really tough. Yeah. We need people to do it. If you love painting minis, we have a paint and take area. Basically, the paint and take area is you're cleaning up after the people who have painted a mini. If you're good with painting, maybe you can give them a tip or two if they ask.
Yeah.
But the paint and take is a free event at Origins where we'll give you the mini and let you paint it for free.
Oh, that's cool.
And we need people to staff it. You know, it's a great thing to provide at Origins, but to make it happen, we need people to staff it. We have a badge called the VIG, which is a very important gamer.
Yes.
It is a priority badge, and they have a special room to themselves, kind of like the volunteer lounge. The VIGs have a room. We need volunteers to staff the VIG room. So there's, a spot. And then I have instituted a new section, which only has a few spots, but I'm calling it the Break Brigade. Because I want a team of people who can go out and relieve other volunteers so that they can get their break and their lunch.
I love that. Do you know how many times like I've been to conventions and some of my friends are volunteering and I'm like, how are you doing? And they're like, I don't know. Have I taken a break? I don't think I've eaten. Where am I?
So I've only had a couple. I only have it, but for lunch areas and things like that, we've tried to schedule enough where there's enough where you need to run, it's not going to be alone, but we have the break brigade to make sure we have people at lunch times and dinner times so that breaks can happen.
Good.
Because I wanted to have people that I could send out at a notice during these times.
Mm-hmm.
So those people ideally will have a good understanding so they can fill in anywhere. But,
maybe like previous experience for that one, if that's like the area you're thinking of.
Just quick learning.
Yeah.
If you could pick up on it quick, because none of these positions are, we're not doing brain surgery. Some of it is detail, but most of it for the duration of a break, if, basic stuff we could do. The one position I haven't talked about yet, going over my list, is the exhibitor concierge.
Ooh, okay.
Our exhibitors provide a lot to us. So we have the exhibitors concierge this year. And that is going to be a group of people dedicated to provide the exhibitors what they need. So
that's nice.
Some of the things that they will do on the setup days for the exhibit hall, the exhibitors will be coming in the back door. They'll be getting vac checked, but they don't have their badges. So we'll be sending somebody from the concierge up to the exhibitor booth, up to the registration to print their badges and take back to them.
Oh,
so that they don't then have to stand in line again while they're busy sending up their booth.
That's brilliant. Oh my goodness.
You need to send somebody. You have a question for one of the areas. Come talk to the concierge. We'll get somebody to do it. We're going to have a limited number of people. Mm-hmm. And if for some reason, somebody will always be available to take what you need. And in the order of requests that come in, we will get them solved for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, we want to try and make things easier for our exhibitors, and the concierge team is the team to do it.
That's brilliant. So, and this is the first year this is happening?
We've had people who work with their exhibitors, but this year we're really striving to make sure that the team, I have the head of concierge, who is an incredible volunteer, who has been with the con for years. She used to be like the head of the show office, and we've moved her into concierge. And so we're going to make sure this team has the answers for the exhibitors.
I love that.
Like, where can we go? Where can we go and do this? Where they have questions, and we want to make sure they have them.
That's brilliant.
So this is the first year where we're committing to that. There will be somebody there. We're going to get a burner phone so that the concierge has their own phone number.
I love that.
So you got a problem at your booth. Say you're alone in your booth and you need to go to the bathroom. Call the concierge. We'll come. We might not be able to help your people, but at least you won't be leaving your booth empty, and we can tell he'll be back in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? He'd take a call. He'll be back in just a moment.
That makes a difference. That's so much stress that's eliminated, because I guarantee all of these people have had so many worries. Like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this. How do I go about it? That when we're only a team of 2, like now they have people to rely on.
If nothing else, just making sure your cash box is covered while you go to the bathroom.
Yes.
You might be willing to leave your booth, but nobody wants to take their cash box with them. You know what I mean?
To the bathroom? No.
Busy, or to run and grab something to eat or something like that, just to cover so that there's something. So, and those are our positions for the volunteers. So we've got a little something for everybody.
Yes.
I love our volunteers, and I hope I get plenty of good ones, and I'm sure I will. If you've volunteered before and you have questions or want to know whether something is still happening, I mean, Origins has been around a long time and under different management, and we've had volunteers that have had bad experiences. You want to talk about it? Email me. Give me a call.
How do they email you again?
It is cynthia.tuck@gamma.org.
Perfect.
And my extension is 104.
I don't know if people pick up phones anymore.
Mine rings all the time. But so my extension is, yes, it's 104. So if you called the main line and extension 104, you can call and talk to me. If you have a concern that something happened, or you just have a concern about the rooms, or you just want to talk about something before you volunteer, give me a call, shoot me an email. I'm more than willing to talk to you about anything you have and try, so if you volunteer before and want to see whether something still operates somewhat, give me a call. Let's talk about it. I would love to have you back again. And, so things are changing all the time. So hopefully we can bring you back. If you enjoyed it and something happened, call me. Let's see if we can work on it.
I think that's excellent. So there's just so much to offer. If you are interested in volunteering and you are willing to dedicate a certain amount of hours, will this volunteers perks, is this easily accessible if folks wanted to look at it and just kind of reference it?
It's on the website. This is part of the volunteer page. If you go back to that page, hold on, let's flip all the way back. The perks are, if you scroll down this screen, that's where the perks are. It's part of what you check to say that, yes, you've read. You've seen what your perks are. And once your shifts have been assigned, I'll start assigning badges to you. And how you get the other perks, like the additional badge in the hotel room, once things are done, I'll be sending out an email and you'll select which perks you want, which of the additional perk options you would like. It gets done through email, and then I assign you those too. So we really are striving, always willing to listen to feedback. We might not implement your suggestion, but I'm always willing to listen to how we can make things better for our volunteers. And the only way we can do it is if we hear it, right?
It's true.
So I've been a longtime volunteer coordinator, and I have nothing but respect for volunteers because it's the lifeblood of an organization like ours. So,
oh my goodness, yes. So, thank you for putting in so much work to making the volunteer experience what it is. It's meant to be. It's not meant to be stressful, Well, you're putting in the work. You're doing it in a safe and fun kind of space with a good community of people, like-minded people. Hopefully,
we really try and make it good. I mean, let's face it, sometimes things happen. I'm not going to lie. When the system went down in 2021, the people that came to registration, not all of them were happy. And it was a little stressful for my team. And they did fantastic. So, but we really try and make everything great. So, we try and work with you, whatever you need. Just let me know.
Perfect. Well, do you have anything else that you think volunteers would have any questions or comments about before they finally click that become a volunteer button?
I don't, but if they can also, if you look on this screen, there's join our volunteer Facebook group. So they can join our volunteer Facebook group. And if they have more questions, that's another way to contact us and ask your questions. And one of the nice things there is a lot of times I don't have to answer because the other volunteers already have.
It's so nice.
We have long-term volunteers who are fantastic and know the show because they've been doing it for years and years. One of the things as I started working on the schedule this year was I reached out to our long-term volunteers because they knew the positions better than I did. So amazing. I wanted their feedback because they knew what they needed better than I did. So I truly value our volunteers and hope that we get more of them and more people will join our team.
I hope so. All right. And I don't think, I guess it does bear repeating. If you are interested in volunteering, make sure you do not buy your badge right away.
Oh, that is a big one. Because if you buy your badge and then you earn one, you'll have to refund it. And there is a service fee.
Yep.
That's just built in. That's part of the system. And I can't waiver it. So we don't want anybody to lose anything. So wait to buy your badge. You're not going to miss out. We're not going to sell out. Well, it would become close to the event. You'll get your badge long before we would sell out.
Yes.
So we will make sure that happens. You know, you're not in any danger of not getting a badge. Wait and volunteer and get your shifts approved before you buy your badge. Get your code. Get your code to use.
Get that info. Get the deets first.
And thank you for remembering that, because that's very important. I would hate to have somebody have their fees. So yeah.
I just that's the last thing I want. I know it will happen, but it's the last thing you want to have happen, because people get click happy. You get that email. It's like, oh, event registration, badge registration, volunteer registration, click, click, click. And it's just like, ooh, maybe there was an order of operations. I should have done it. And we're here to let you know, depending on what you do, volunteer, register as a volunteer first, wait for the info to get it back, to let us calculate how many hours you're going to do, and then we will get you your badge.
Absolutely. That's how it goes.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to time then. I've never actually volunteered personally. And the more I look at this, the more I'm thinking damn, I'm really missing out. This might be my year. It's not too late.
It's not too late. We're still taking volunteers. And, for those volunteers who are waiting to get their shifts approved, because there are some that are in there, I'm getting to it. Honestly, I'll get to it as soon as I can. Most people know, Gamma's coming up, and we're really working hard on Gamma too. So the Gamma Expo. So I will get to your shifts. Don't worry. Feel free to email me.
All right. Well, if folks do want to contact you or find you in any way, how would they go about that?
It is cynthia.tuck@gamma.org, or they could call the main line, and my extension is 104. I gotta keep looking, and it's posted over there. I
feel like it's on your wall somewhere.
It really is.
Oh, that's excellent. I have been your host, B. You can find me on Twitter as @B_Zelda, podcaster, streamer, I don't know, tabletop things. I show up. And I hope to see everybody next week for another episode of Origins Spotlight, where we have some more fantastic conversations to talk about for the upcoming Origins Game Fair. And until then, take care.
Bye. Have a great day.